to Period 2 Survey of Statistics. I'm Ms. McCormick. Before I talk a little bit about the expectations of the class, just want to tell you a little bit about the class. So this class is for seniors. So students who are taking this class this semester will take personal finance second semester. And the goal of both classes is really math that's useful for life. So this is not a statistics class like the one you might have taken in college where you memorize a whole bunch of formulas and then you never remember it again. This is actually a statistical literacy course. So we look at how understanding statistics can help us understand the world, graphs that we see, data that we see, experiments that are going on. What can we learn about that? So when we have quizzes and tests, there's no memorization. They can always use their notes, both with the projects and with my dog's trying for attention, and with the assessments. They're allowed to use their notes, and I'm looking to see that they've applied what they've learned, that they can apply it into different situations. So first of all, as far as behavioral expectations, so far there haven't been any issues, but students should be in the Zoom waiting room prior to the start of class so that they will be in class when school starts, or when the class starts at 8:30. Students that log in a few minutes later are going to miss out on directions and information. And students should keep the camera on during class time unless I've told them to turn it off. They should also keep their microphone on mute unless they're either asking me a question or answering my question, or if I've put them in breakout rooms and I've told them to collaborate with their group. Students should treat me and their classmates with respect. Something that's hard for students, regardless of motivation level, can be being focused on the lesson. It's really easy for kids to be distracted by their siblings, their cell phones, TV, often have like 3 things going on and miss a lot. So yeah, they should be focused on the lesson, not on outside conversations or on devices other than the one that they're using for Zoom. If your student needs to get it to use the restroom or print a document, they should just message me in the Zoom chat so that I know why I'm not seeing them on camera or why their camera's temporarily turned off. And they should stay logged into Zoom until I dismiss them. Grading, the grading scale is probably pretty standard for what they've had in other math classes, maybe all classes, 90% A, 80% B, and so on. The grade components are a little bit different because it's a statistical literacy class and it's not all about memorizing. So they will have quizzes and tests. They've had a quiz, and those will be 40% of their grade. If we end up having a final exam, since we don't know how distance learning is going to play out, that would go in there too. Their projects are 40%, so they will have at least 1 project per semester, or not per semester, sorry, per unit. Unit 1, so far, they've already done 2 projects. Most of the projects, they will either have a partner or a group. Occasionally, there will be individual ones. And then assignments, so any classwork I assign, any homework I assign, if I assign them to take notes at home, that's 20%. Notes they take during class time, I don't collect. But all classwork, homework, and notes taken at home, I do collect for a grade. As far as classwork, homework, notes, generally I assign homework every Monday and Thursday because unless it's an irregular week, this class meets Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So every Monday and Thursday on a normal week, and then occasionally on Wednesdays. So for instance, today they had, I'm recording this on a Wednesday, they had to do some video notes for homework, okay? Every assignment is posted on Google Classroom and is due by the following class period in Google Classroom, unless I tell them otherwise. So often for them, homework will consist of taking notes on a video that either I made or that I found, or answering questions. Sometimes it will be a worksheet. And also any work assigned in class that is not finished in class has to be finished at home and turned in that day. For submitting assignments, we already said that's in Google Classroom. The 2 preferred methods for doing that are either using the free app Cam Scanner to take pictures of their assignment, turn it into a PDF and turn it that way. Or some people have Cami, which I believe is a plugin for Google Chrome where they can type right on the PDF. So that works as well. If for some reason your student isn't able to do either of those, then a third option is to take pictures of the assignment and create a Google Doc and put them in there. So it's not preferred, but it's understandable. Sometimes that may be the only choice. And of course, any work there is, sometimes they're factual questions, but if there is work to be shown and the student wants full credit, they do have to show all the work. For projects, as I said, at least one project per unit will be assigned, and that students will be assigned a partner or a group for most of them. It's really important that all students in the group have access to the digital document to be turned in. Most time in their project, they'll be turning in Google Slides, sometimes a Google Doc, but it's really important because suppose the day their group is supposed to present, if the only person that has access is not logged into class, then they're all going to get dinged. So it's really important that everybody has access to the project so that if something happens, maybe the one person that had access maybe wanted to log in, but their Wi-Fi was out, that can still happen. And it's important that all students contribute to the projects. That's not usually a problem. And as I said, most projects will require a brief presentation with some questions after. Students are expected to be attentive and respectful during presentations and ask questions. So on their first presentations with their projects, only I asked questions, kind of setting, and I'll give them more guidelines as we go forward to ask good questions to get credit for. Unless it's due to a documented emergency, any projects that are not turned in when they are due will lose 10% for each class after the due date. Assessments. All assessments are going to be taken in real time via Zoom. So they'll be taken in class with the camera on and should be turned in before logging out. Unless I say otherwise, sometimes I will say log out, finish it at home, but if I don't say that, then they need to finish it before logging out. Any work that is possible needs to be shown, even if it's work they do in their head, to be eligible for full credit. If a student isn't sure if particular work needs to be shown, they should ask me. Okay. And assessments should be submitted using the same guidelines as assignments in Google Classroom, using one of those apps if possible. Students are always allowed to use a scientific calculator in my class. And also, as I said before, and the bullet point over here, students are allowed to use their notes on exam. However, talking to other people, whether classmates, adults, whoever, about an exam, sharing a copy of their exam, accepting a copy of somebody else's, or using outside technology like PhotoMath, those are all considered cheating. But again, using their own notes that they took during the videos during class is acceptable both on distance learning and if we go back to regular in-person learning. To avoid getting late credit for work that's done on time, and this really applies to both assessments and assignments, it's really important that after your student uploads whatever documents, that they click turn in. So the #1 issue, at least last semester, was students loading things and not hitting turn in. It seems to be less, but that'd be something they should be cognizant of. And then when we have unit exams, there will be a review period, the class period before, with a review sheet. And quizzes, we won't have a review period, but there will be a review sheet for quizzes as well. So the students know how to orient, not their memorizing, but just their, going back and look at everything and, make sure they understand it. Absences and late work. If your student is going to have a foreseen absence, please let me know. Have them let me know so we can make sure that they don't miss anything, that there isn't something that is said in class that they miss out on. And please, unless your student is already 18 and clears their own absences, please make sure they're cleared through attendance. And just like normally, if a student has an excused absence, then they have 1 class period per day from the class missing to complete the work for full credit. Okay. If a student misses a test or a quiz due to an absence, it must be taken during the flex time. So every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm automatically logged into Zoom via the class link from 1:40 to 2:30. So they would either need to take it then or to set up another time with me. And so unless the student has had a long absence, they'd be expected to make up a test or quiz within 2 school days of the absence. And again, to communicate their plans to me in an email. For late work, so any work that's not turned in on the day it's due, unless it's due to an absence and is turned in within that policy, is considered late. Okay, so I do take late work for up to 60% credit until the end of a unit. Okay, so until they have a unit exam. Okay, assignments turned in after the end of the unit will be accepted and marked turned in, but they won't get points for them. So it'll just be 0 turned in. And the same standards of quality apply to late work. I'm still looking for the same quality work shown, thoughtful answers to questions, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And most importantly, if you have questions, please contact me via email. And again, the Zoom flex time that I'm always available, unless I post something, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 1:40 to 2:30.